Hey guys, welcome to another video. As you can see, I'm all kind of in my work clothes because today's video, I'm just going to be showing you guys what it looks like, not everything, but kind of what it looks like for me when I do my concrete business. So I'm over here on a job right now. This is actually pour day, so we're going to be pouring concrete today. I've got my truck, I've got this trailer right here, I've still got some gravel in it, and then over here I've got the pad that's going to be getting poured. It's a patch, really, that's what it is. But I just wanted to bring you guys along just for a few minutes and show you guys what it looks like, what kind of equipment you need. So in here, this is the back of my truck. I know it's a mess. You know, you're gonna need a sledgehammer if you're busting out concrete. Got to get some trowels, probably a crowbar. You're probably also gonna get a tamp rod. You're gonna need a shovel or two, really important. A level, depending on what kind of job you're doing. You're gonna need some stakes, you know, stuff like that. Definitely a good hammer. I got one right there. I think it's an Estwing. I got that. That's my favorite hammer. It's back there. The other hammers work fine too, but that's my favorite. It just hits better. You know, you're gonna need some of those contractor bags as well. Of course, water. Over here, just cleaning up some of my tools real quick with some PB Blaster. Which, by the way, if you got trowels or something that's got dried cement on it, spray some PB Blaster on it, and then let it sit for a second, and then scrape it off, and that should help a little bit. I got one of my trowels here. This is, I had to do this one day because I was working with other people. I didn't want them to steal my trowel. That's the other hammer I was telling you about. This is my bull float. It's real dirty because I neglected to clean it. And that's another thing you have to learn when you're doing business, and understand that if you don't take care of your equipment, it'll won't last as long. It won't perform as well. So you really need to be cleaning it up. So I'm doing that right now. I'm letting it soak with some PB Blaster. I'm trying to clean it back up, which is something I shouldn't have ever had to do, but I'm doing it now. There's some gravel. This little dump trailer I'm actually borrowing from someone else, and I had this whole thing filled with concrete that I busted out yesterday, because that's all I did yesterday, was bust out concrete, and it's filled up to about, you know, right here with concrete. And this trailer was still able to dump it this morning over at the dump. I went over to American Farms. That's where I have to go. It's like 20 something miles away from this job site, but good old boots. You're gonna need some of these if you're gonna be pouring concrete that you're gonna have to step in. Some rubber boots. They don't have to have a steel toe or anything, but just some good old rubber boots that are kind of tall. You can tuck your pants into. Again, one of these contractor bags is always great. A wheelbarrow. You're gonna need a wheelbarrow. This has helped me a lot with smaller jobs when I have to hand mix stuff, but it's also great to have because when the concrete truck finishes pouring, I usually like to pour a little bit of concrete in there just to have an extra. Some tape, caution tape is always good to tape off your work site. Those are the poles for the float, for the bull float, and there's a wooden pole there that goes with the brush. And that brush is for finishing concrete. Give it a brush finish. You know, just a little deck brush. Really, you could probably get a broom, probably be better, but deck brush works good too. A couple pieces of wood. I'm using these today as screeds, but you can also use them, you know, obviously to form things up. There's my mag float. There's my trowel, my finishing trowel, and there is a curber. So those are some other things you need. A couple 5-gallon buckets are always good too. Here is my come along, which is really just a pull material, concrete. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. That can be a little dirty, but it's always good to clean. And here is another brush I have. That other brush over there, right there, but this is the other brush I have, and as you can see, it's a little bent because I left it in a spot where it bent the bristles, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to straighten those back out. So I had to buy another one. This is the third one I've bought already. So let's go ahead and go on to the actual little pad area. So the customer here had an issue where they had the middle area, and I can probably pop up a picture here. The middle area was potholing real bad, and they just needed it fixed. You know, we talked about different options. We talked about, you know, if you just wanted a temporary fix for a few years, I could have just filled it with concrete, or if they wanted to, you know, I recommended just cutting out the pothole areas, and I could, with a saw, and I could just fill those areas. But ultimately, the customer wanted to replace this whole area, which is, as you can see, almost the whole front of the pad. or front. So I just did whatever the customer wanted to do. I talked to him about it. I let him know the risks. As it turns out, this pad right here, it was actually poured on a rock. There's a big rock under there, and you can't dig that deep. So I had to put minimal gravel. I ended up putting wire mesh, which what wire mesh does is that helps keep everything together. And I also put in some tie-in rebar in a few spots. There, all the way up there, and I didn't put any up there because that wasn't a great place to put it. And there. I didn't put any on this side at all because there's asphalt on this side. I didn't want to tie into asphalt. That's just how I do things. But yeah, I have some gravel here. I know it's not the best looking, but this is just what I had to do with what I had. I'm still in the process of buying an actual saw. So for the saw, I had to rent it from Home Depot. That's going to cost a little bit of money. But if you end up doing a lot of these jobs, it'll save you in the long run if you buy a saw. So I had to cut this all out and bust it out yesterday. That was grueling work. But those are just some of the things you're going to need if you're going to do this kind of business. Now, I'm not really going to talk numbers in this video. I might make another video about numbers, but quoting is really where a lot of the profit can be made, because if you don't quote right, then you lose money. And there's one of my hoses right there that I use, and you got to use those to when you're working with the saw, because you don't want it to kick up a bunch of dust. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of a little overview of kind of what you need. That's for this job. Some jobs you need to get like big pieces of equipment rented out. It just kind of depends. I hope this gave you at least a little idea of the things you need. Also, another thing is when you're putting those rebar things in, you're going to need a hammer drill. And all my tools right now, my power tools, are just Ryobi. So that just tells you don't need a bunch of money to get into this. It's not the best, but if you're just doing it a few times a month or maybe even a few times a year, it'll work. So yeah, I hope this gives you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like to work for yourself. Yesterday, I spent the whole day busting out concrete. It's grueling work. My whole body's still sore from yesterday. But we got concrete coming at noon, and it is about 10:10. So it's about an hour and 50 minutes away, about 2 hours away still. So I'm going to probably sit down and rest for a little bit in the meantime. And but other than that, I have pretty much everything ready. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'm excited to get this done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I know a lot of you guys watching are not subscribed, and if you're still watching it this late into the video, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Lucas, and I will see you next time.